Om Shanti and a very good morning. Let's take a couple of moments to stabilize ourselves in a state of tranquility, a state of complete silence. Keeping all the conversations aside and get ready for a new wave of the old learning that Baba has shared with us through the Murli dated 26th October 1971. The title of the Murli is "The Basis of Our Karmas is Our Attitude." At this time, when we are towards the end of the end, the only friend that we would have with us is our sanskars. Like the title which defines the talk today, the learnings today, your deeds decide your destiny. Working on this since the last few years, ongoingly working and practicing, I've been learning and being vigilant of the kind of karmas that I've been doing. What it said in this Murli, the attitude, the vritti that will give you the srishti, the approach, the attitude that gives the approach, the vision, which gives rise to the kruti, the actions that you take, which creates the srishti, which creates the world. The karmas are one thing. I would look at it this way, in which even our Supreme Father doesn't have a say. Our karmas have nothing to do with our Supreme Father. It's completely our responsibility. And in today's times, as the world around turns more and more tamopradhan, the need of the hour is to elevate our levels of our karmas. Like how the financial year ends in March, the cycle of 5,000 years is reaching its March ending, if I may say. And as that cycle is reaching the end, the accounts are looked to be settled. What goes with us, we have learned, is nothing else but our sanskars. Now, if we observe in our day-to-day lives, we see the kind of karmas that we do, whether it is through our actions, through our speech, or through our thoughts. Even if we don't take actions, or even if we don't speak, even if we think about something, each and every part is getting recorded in our karmic account. Now, usually there is a myth which many souls have. Maybe they are oblivious to, is the collapse between drama and destiny. So when something happens, there is an incident or some kind of an outcome that would happen, and people will say, oh, it is all in drama. Well, you cannot put that on drama. What has happened may not be in your hand, but what is to be done, it is in your hand. And the collapse that would be there is when people mix drama with destiny, and people say, oh, that must be my destiny. This is my destiny. मेरी तकदीर में यही लिखा हुआ है. And they would put it onto destiny. But we as souls have been having the power to create our own destiny. And knowingly or unknowingly, every moment, we are creating our own destiny. We are shaping the map, the path of our destiny. How? If we take a moment right now, just a couple of moments, and reflect onto our outlook, our approach towards the incidents that happen on a day-to-day basis as we live our social life. Look back. Maybe something that happened yesterday, earlier in the week, or maybe in the past, something that has not gone right for you. How is it that you have responded to that situation? Maybe out of body consciousness, mostly out of body consciousness. Your ego might have won. You might have got your way through. But as far as your karmic cycle is concerned, you have lost. Because the approach may not have been sattvic, it might not have been pure. As we see in these times, the battery of our soul is depleted. And when I say our soul, I'm referring to the humankind, to the people around. Even before we came into Gyan, we were a part of that world. It is thanks to Baba's sustenance that we have got this world to have an elevated approach. But otherwise, we would be always coming from responding in a form of either a resignation or a reaction. So when our approach has been of that depleted quality, we unknowingly have built up a karmic account. So many times we must have got a temporary win or a way out. And when we are in the prime, we don't realize what kind of damage it might cause in the long run and what kind of disservice that we end up doing. Forget about doing that to the world, to the other people, but the disservice that we do to our own selves. Now, is it easy to not react, to not be coming from a depleted space? Is it easy? No, certainly it is not. To operate from an elevated space requires a lot of spiritual courage. It calls for letting go a lot of the so-called hurt, the emotional trauma, and anything that would come from that world. So causing yourself with elevated divinity will not be easy. But the question is suffering easy in the long run? When we are looking at settling our accounts, now that we are having the spiritual learning, and now as we're looking at settling our karmic account, as much as we can do by our own selves, we know that the rest of the account is yet to be settled with Dharmaraj. And as we have time to look at every approach that we would have, the deeds, are they coming from a space of acceptance? The acceptance coming out of being soul conscious, being someone who's free from attachment? Or is it coming out of body consciousness? As drama would have it, and how we've learned that drama is accurate. Nothing that is happening with you or with me or with any one of us is a coincidence. In one of the talks that I heard from Usha Didi, that conversation is etched in my mind when she narrated the learning that when we take a birth, it is we who decide on the basis of our past life or lives. We take birth. We choose to take birth in a particular family, in a particular country, to a particular set of parents. It all is decided by us to settle our karmic account. And we take our birth accordingly. And for the initial couple of years, our soul remembers the purpose with which we have taken that birth. But as the consciousness develops, ego takes over, even at that young an age. An ego doesn't necessarily mean ghamand, if I may say. It doesn't mean arrogance. It only means the importance that is given to anything happening around to the body consciousness. So as a child, also we start developing that body consciousness. And somewhere, as we start growing, the purpose gets lost with which that birth was taken. And instead of clearing off the old accounts, we unconsciously, obliviously add more karmas to our account. Now, how do we go about it? Especially now, the toxicity that is around us is going to increase. We are already seeing that every day there is a new challenge. Every day there is a new experience. People around us are becoming opportunists. The level of tolerance is going down. The level of patience is going down. The level of blaming and accusing is going up. The level of shunning of the responsibility that it's not me, it's you is going up. The kind of chaos that would be happening around. So much to manage and so much to deal with. And if in that situation, we are told to be peaceful, to be calm, to be composed, how is that going to happen? What I learned or have been learning and practicing is being aware, being agile as much as possible to every thought that is going out of me, to every word that is coming out of my mouth, to ongoingly check my stability. Am I centered or am I spaced out? And lastly, my actions, my attitude, my approach towards others. So when something happens, it might not be in our hands, but how to respond to that is definitely in our hands. The learning and the understanding and the approach of that whatever has happened is not a coincidence. It is a part of my karmic cycle. And that is the reason I've attracted this incident or the happening. The realization that to this extent, my karmic account has settled. I'll share with you an incident that happened. I have shared it earlier as well. But in this context, I'll share it again. That a few years ago, I think about 5 years ago, my business partner had requested me to pick up some money on his behalf, his personal money, from somewhere as I was traveling. from that area. And I was taking that money and I was coming. The money was in my hand. And as I was walking, someone snatched that bag from my hand and ran away. For a moment, I got disturbed. And this was the time when I was fairly new into the Gyan. So the first was anger, repentance, fear, the impact of the loss that has happened, and especially when it was not mine. It took me a couple of moments to compose myself and come to acceptance that now the money has gone. It's been snatched out of my hand and it's gone. The next couple of moments, I remember the learnings that I was getting from the teacher at the center. And the first thing that came to my mind after that balance that I got is that I blessed that soul who snatched that money out of my hand and ran away. And I said, whatever might be his need, let me send you positive vibrations so that I can heal you. The next thing that I did was I thanked that soul, the thief. So thank you for doing what you did to me. Because as you did that, you helped me settle my karmic account. And you built up your karmic account as you were settling mine. Now, had it been coming from body consciousness or lack of the spiritual learning, I wouldn't have done this. In the next few minutes, I was completely free of any pain, hurt that I would have. The acceptance that it's happened in that moment and it's over. And that was a new start for me to learn, having a new approach to settle my karmic accounts. I also learned in that time that had I been seething in pain, and had I been accusing him or maybe cursing him for doing what he did to me or with me, I may say, I would have built up my new karmic account. And in that moment, as I lost the money, simultaneously, I got wealthy. I got wealthy in the sense that I got an access not to build up my new karmic account. It was so liberating. It was so much of freedom when seen from the other perspective, that whatever is happening is drama, and whatever I do next is shaping and carving my destiny. So as we are looking at being a part of the rosary, we're all lined up to be the beads of the rosary. The divinity that would be expected out of us would be coming to look at our deeds. That kind of a deed that is free from any artificial need or any greed. Yes, if the need is, then there is only one, is to inch closer towards our Supreme Father. The approach of karma, as it says in the Murli, is of humility, renewal, and silence. The humility coming from egolessness, where there is no me, there is no you. And somewhere I remember something that I read earlier, that every soul is innocent. Like every child who is born, you see the first few years, how we get attracted to small children with anything that they do, even when they are crying or they're throwing tantrums, everything we like. Why do we like? Because there is innocence. So when a child is doing something, when it is an infant, you find those things very cute, very nice. But as the child starts growing up from infant to getting to be a bit bigger, then the same things will not appeal or attract you. And even as that child grows to be an adult and has the same kind of an approach, we will have a different perspective or an outlook. And we'll say, oh, he's grown up now. He should not behave like this. That is not really nice. Someone's got the microphone on. But can you just look and just have it on pause? On mute, please. All right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. So having that kind of an approach, that every soul is innocent. And they are on their own karmic cycle, that they would behave the way they would had they known any better way, then they have behaved otherwise. So any kind of an anger or badale ki bhavna, taking revenge, or making to have a showdown somewhere, it's all coming out of the depletion of that soul. That depletion that is carpeted or covered, the innocence that the original sanskar is, because innocence is purity. So that approach coming from being free from attachment, knowing who you are, to whom you belong, that you are a soul, and you are that soul who's chosen by the Supreme Father. That is the world of minority, I would say, if not for a better word, is the world of minority to which we proudly belong. So as we are taking on fulfilling our social duties, responsibilities, as we are stepping out, not only with our Lokik family, even in our work environment, or even with unknown people, ongoingly, if you check so many times in a day, there will be opportunities to displace you, to get off track, to come from a space of ego taking over. There's one friend who you have, and as I believe, or the way I would put it, that the only friend that I have is my karma. Even if our Supreme Father wants to help us, he can't do it because our karmic cycle, we have to settle on our own. All that he can give us is the power, the courage, the sustenance to see it through. And that is why he says that don't worry, I am with you. Baba says, जहां पाप नहीं होता वहां बाप होता है, और जहां पाप होता है वहां बाप नहीं होता. So from this moment, micro assessing of each and everything that is coming out of each one of us has to be divine. There will be times when we will fall back in the circle of Maya. But ongoing reflection, introspection, and immediately addressing it to our Supreme Father and mending and correcting those ways, automatically will start making up or developing your new sanskar. Slowly, gradually, with every experience, where you come from a space of divinity, your soul will start getting the experience of getting habituated to have that kind of an approach of acceptance, of forgiveness, of letting go, of understanding, of compassion, of sending vibrations, even to those who are doing wrong to you. And that's where the gap that is there in our karmic account will start getting settled. Each and every deed is with divinity, with a higher purpose. कर्मों का खाता जमा करना है. We've got to accumulate our karmic balance, turning the balance sheet into profit. I was reading a book on karma, and I got to learn 3 different types of karmas and what kind of a karmic person you can be. The 3 categories of people. One who's a karma bhogi, someone who would only think about himself and not be worried about the other person as you're doing that deed. Where the approach would be, I will only and only look for my benefit or my interest. Whatever happens to you is not my problem. Even if I know that that is going to cause you a loss, I will yet continue because I am only interested to benefit. That is being a karma bhogi. Second is karma karta, that you will do your act indifferently. There is no intention that is attached in there, just doing it as a transaction and leaving it. And the third and the most elevated one is karma yogi, where you would always put the other person in front of you. Look at that person's benefit before you see yours. If you step out in the world and see certain doctors, there are some doctors who would say, no personal prejudices against anyone. But there are some doctors who would come and say, don't worry about the money. Just get the procedure done. Get the treatment done. Money we will see later. That's a karma yogi. There are places where you would go and you go to buy something or take some service and they would say, please make the payment first. We will provide the product or the services later. And the third kind of people say, give the money. After that, you want to take it or not, it's your problem. I mean, if you're to experience this, what kind of an experience would have you be happy and settled? Would have you feel that you matter? Like I would look at, okay, someone who's having an approach that don't worry about the money. We'll take care of it later. Just get it done. But yes, of course, it has to be balanced because in today's times, there are a lot of opportunists. So it has to be a balance between the two. So the approach of having the presence of the Supreme Father, what we heard in Baba Milan 2 days ago, what Baba said, that anywhere anything happens, just have me, just remember me. And more than that, I would say anything that you do, just be the instrument. Just be the trustee and say, Baba, I'm doing it on your behalf. I'm carrying out this task and I'm surrendering and I'm doing it. And I've experienced that wherever I've been practicing, having Supreme Father in remembrance first, even if I'm getting dragged into something where I would be taken advantage of, there is some experience that is shown up and I would be protected. Well, it calls for complete faith and trust, completely surrendering, not coming from trying and testing or having any kind of skepticism and say, oh, I will see. So it's not that I have my feet in both the boats. There's no checking. or testing that the Supreme Father is there. That's the journey of traveling from body consciousness to soul consciousness. Let me take a pause here and ask you all if there's any question or anything that is opening up for you, anything that any of the brothers or sisters would like to share or ask.
Om Shanti, brother.
Yes.
Om Shanti.
Yeah.
Oh, my intellect is just pouring in with what all you said. I just have two aspects. One is what you spoke now and what from the Murli. It gave me a lovely pen to really change something. The second aspect, which I'll ask at the end, is which somebody asked me a question when I sent them this poster. The first one, what I would like to share is the hardware is drama. The software is my karma. And the output is destiny. Fine. I can change the software. And because it's what I'm doing, it's my action. And my output is related to it. And even the Murli says, you are a guide and you are on a pilgrimage and you have to know your destination. These three bases when Baba underlined as the foundation. So what I should have, attitude is something midstream, but the first seed is I feel the thought. And then I reach the end, what you call as action, the end of the stream. But what happens in between that is what I decide. And that pen which decides is the action, the intention, what I speak, what I do. Then you also gave a justification to all this to say, always think you're just settling something. You have thrown a ball, it's coming back at you. So you also gave the justification for all my thoughts for why I have to suffer. But what I got at the end from the Murli is just three things. Tie yourself to him, keep your lines perfect, and hold his hand. So from what you spoke and the Murli, this is what I got in mind. Om Shanti.
Girjavan, one thing that I got out of what you shared is the connection between destiny and destination. That the destination is certain and the path to reach that destination is the destiny that you create. And that's a wonderful connection that would be there. That destiny that you would have out of your sattvic, elevated karmas. And the other thing, which is a bit of a correction, I would say, that we children, rather than we holding our Supreme Father's hand, is allow Supreme Father to we allow him to hold our hand. Because we are chanchal, there might be a possibility that if we are holding Baba's hand, we might leave it. But if Baba is holding our hand, then he is not going to leave it. Thank you, Girjaban. Yes.
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti, Vijay Bhai.
It really touched me when you said that, something happens, not in our hand, but how we respond to that situation is in our hand, right? Depends on that our karmic account is created. That creates our destiny. It really touched. Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Yes,
Shanti, brother,
Gibjas.
good morning.
Yes, go on. Yes, Vinod bhai.
Uh, Brother, I was wondering, the karmic accounts are so deep that the thoughts that we think also are counted in them. I wondered at times when, while playing roles, if we do not get the ideas required to play that role, we just seep into the shell of being soul conscious, and the innate wisdom gives us the power to come up with an answer. And when we are unsure of it, then just the awareness that my Baba is there will make that thought or the act strong and positive. I wonder that in such a situation, staying calm and doing an act or a thought would solely depend on our existing baggage, and we should be careful enough that we give that moment to ourselves before we act. And what comes out would be definitely correct because he is there with us. Thanks for bringing this thought from within me. Thanks for the session today. Om Shanti.
Thanks to Baba. And yeah, I mean, Vinod bhai, along with being careful, it's also about being carefree once you start relating to yourself from a divine space and yeah, being looking at that so many karmas, deeds in a day, either be it our thoughts, be it our words, be it our actions, be it anything. Like two things I would say are constant. One is breathing, and one is the karmic account. You know how the stock market, I don't invest in stock markets, but yes, uh, the stock market has, it's continuously going up and down and up and down and up and down. Our karmic account every moment is going up and down. And the more agile and attentive, I would say, more than being careful, it's being more agile and attentive. Uh, I am, the more I would see the market of my karmas, of my positive karmas going up. And yeah, I mean, that kind of a space would be intoxicating and it's addictive. It's it's definitely addictive. At times, yes, Maya will hijack, but yeah, let Maya do its role, and then we, out of realization, let us keep on doing our role. So, thank you for sharing, Vinod. Yes, Gijaman.
Vimish, I told you I just have something to ask you. You know, when you were sharing about your incident, then I thought, okay, I don't know whether this is the right platform. This person, she just asked me, she said, I don't know what I have done previously. You spoke about that financial hurt which you had, which you could pacify it, do it with blessing. But this, what I heard, was a very grave physical hurt to that particular person. So she asked me, if suppose you're saying the karma decides everything, this person, I have not done any karma now. So do you mean this kind of mental torture which I'm facing now? There are two people involved, the one who actually got the facing and the one who is close to that person. She says, how can you just, how can I, like I, Girija, how can I go and tell that person, hello, this is all your karma? You would have done something like that. Like I felt I cannot even help that person, leave alone blessing. So what is this drama hardware? What is this prenomination as if telling them this will happen, this will happen? Then what has intuition or anything got to do? So I couldn't explain to her, I couldn't attend at all to her. So I'm not an IT expert. Is there no way I can change the software so that that hardware just goes away my past and do? I really couldn't attend on her. And I don't know if she's listening to you. If she's listening, I would request her. But hers is a very deep, I think we have no time also. That's why I'm representing. What do you do to such people? Like, how do you attend, speak this karma to such people? I don't want to give the incident. I hope you understood.
Yeah, of course. We completely understand. And yeah, the thing is, till the time the opposite person is not ready, you should not give the injection of knowledge to that person. Gyan ka injection nahi dena chahiye if that soul is not ready. To first get that soul ready, the first thing that you would do is empathize, understand that person's pain. Because when that person is physically hurt, what, according to the best of my understanding, I would feel is that that person needs someone to understand that I get how you feel. I know how it has left you with. And after that, once that person is left with that empty cup of having you understanding, maybe subtly looking at different ways in which you can put across uh, different perspectives that would serve that soul. And like we've been learning and we've been taught that the awareness that we've got, that whatever we are going through may not necessarily be of something that we've done now. It may be of the past birth, the earlier birth, or earlier births. So the cycle of 5,000 years is getting complete now. So like there are three types of karmas. One is a kriyaman karma. Kriyaman karma means I wanted to have water. I mean, I was feeling thirsty. I had water and the thirst got quenched. So that is a need of a karma, and then doing that karma and it getting settled. And there is sanchit karma, which is accumulated. And there is prarabdha, when those accumulated karmas get ripe to, to be rewarded. We go back in mythology, and going a bit in 1 minute, I'll share that Kauravas, the example of Kauravas that is given is that all 100 sons died at one time. And the father was blind. And why so much of pain? Because few births earlier is when that father was responsible for causing blindness to some species. And that is how those karmas got sanchit. And when they got ready, he had to do good deeds to have those many sons. And after that, when the right time came, when the karma was ripe, it was the ripe time, is when the result was rewarded. I mean, for that matter, why was Rama sent to exile? Because he has been in the history, he's been referred as Lord Rama, been looked upon. Then why was he sent to an exile? What was he paying for? So the understanding of that, maybe subtly explaining to that soul, but having that soul be ready first before you would even give any kind of a solace or understanding. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Vimish. Vimish Bhai, it was good. I think I looked at it as a point of a woman. And I felt that pain within me because a woman understands a woman. Now, as Baba said, when I have to change my form, I reacted to her as a woman and very close as I knew. So I think I should first change this way of reaction. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Vish Bhaiji. What I've gathered from today's session is the which you use the word the carbon cycle of the soul, and I got this idea that zero emission approach, that I don't create any kind of vikarma in this particular conference age. And other aspect is when I'm interacting in this world, whether I am in this complete soul consciousness stage or I am in a body consciousness stage, there could not be any mixturity. So this is like saying either soul am speaking or the Om Bhai is speaking. And when I'm doing the karma, when I'm doing a role, the interactions, the reaction or a response also depends on I am a soul or I am a Om Bhai. So when I'm in a Om Bhai wala, that body consciousness, then I'm creating, new accounts, and this is a time to settle the accounts. So I need to switch over from Om Bhai to the soul, because in earlier birth I was something else, and before that I was something else. I was in some other kind of body. So getting detached from the role of the body and focusing on the soul is what is the key, which creates my new destiny. I mean, that which new destination I will reach. So the being in soul consciousness, I get a control to settle my accounts and and ensure my destiny is the elevated one. Om Shanti.
Yeah, that's a wonderful analogy example that you said about uh, zero carbon emission. And actually, I can connect it with the EV vehicles that are coming out now. That they're all starting from hybrid and going on to EV. Why? Because there was a lot of pollution that was there on the road, and that is how these vehicles have come out, battery operated. Uh, and that's exactly what we've got to do: charge our batteries, not emit anything. And one other thing that came to my mind was that when there's so much of a misguide that people would use as an excuse when they would come and say that, oh, everything is in drama repeats itself, so then why should I do anything? And then that drama is only my destiny. Now this only how it misfires is when people say, okay, drama repeats itself, so this was exactly what I was doing 5,000 years ago, then why should I do purusharth? Then how can I make my own destiny? And the answer to that, which I got when I was introspecting and at that point of time when this conversation came a few years ago, is that at that time also I was creating my own destiny. And that is what I'm doing now. And that is exactly what I'm going to do 5,000 years later as well. So it's a beautiful answer that I got through the divine power that Baba's providing, the space that he's providing. Thank you for sharing, Mumbai.
Yes, true, Vimish Bhaiji. The only difference was that earlier you were not having that awareness. Now we have the awareness. The key is the awareness which Baba has given to each of our soul. And that creates a difference between Manushya and Brahman. Brahman has got an awareness, that powerful technique, tool, which
difference between human and Brahman.
That was a nice one. That was a nice one. Distinction between human and a Brahman.
Yeah, someone was saying something.
If we see the biological cycle also, the key is the awareness. You
Yeah.
see, how they describe that, plants have got lesser awareness, and then the animals have got, and then the highest one is the human. I mean, where, and
Yeah.
Brahman is even one notch up than that. The
Yeah. 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 Someone was saying something.
Om Shanti, brother.
Yes.
So, so what we are getting today is the karmic account what he had created past. So, for example, my aunt is suffering from sugar, and she's having that wound in her leg again and again. So we operated twice, and now also doctor suggested you can do better plastic surgery to close the wound so that it will heal smoothly, and it won't be come back again. So actually, if it is the karma, now can't we think that it has to be closed without any operation? What we are thinking is against drama, or can we think in a positive side that it now it's recovering? We are postponed the date to some March 2nd week like that. If I think it has to be done smoothly without any operation, am I thinking against drama, or can I do that?
Yeah. So what I can understand, Kartika sister, is that whatever needs to be done medically, whatever purusharth needs to be done, or whatever actions need to be taken, uh, that need to be taken. That is distinct. Okay, that cannot be put in the way of saying that, okay, that is drama. But yeah, I mean, what would be there where you are is sending healing vibrations and allowing whatever is to be done medically, allowing the 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 professionals or the champions of that field take their call to serve that soul in the best possible manner.
In the meantime, also I can do a positive healing also.
Yeah,
So
you
that
can. Yeah, yeah,
so that will
yeah,
also works a lot.
yeah. It does. That's all that is there in your hand. Whatever needs to be done medically or by the experts, that needs to be done.
Okay, bye.
Otherwise,
So,
it
but
will happen. Yeah,
this healing what we are doing through our mind is also having good results, and it will also show some good results within that time also. It may happen.
yeah. If you're going to be stressed about, oh she's suffering, then those vibrations are anyways reaching her. So you're not adding any value to her. You're in fact adding the suffering to her. So the best thing to do is to send her vibrations, because when a person is not well, what that person needs is medicine and support, needs emotional support. And what is there where you are is that you can give spiritual support, so that her process of whatever she has to see through is seen with grace. Even if it is pain that she has to see through, she's seeing it with grace.
Okay, brother. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Yeah. Right. I think we have crossed the time. Anyone wants to share anything?
Yes, I would like to share.
Yes,
We
Amrita.
all have karmic accounts. So sometimes intentionally or unintentionally, we build those karmic accounts. So can I know how can you purify these karmic accounts, intentionally, unintentionally, what we have done it through spiritual practice?
Okay, so first of all, having that awareness is almost 50% of the job that is done. That you are aware that you are building up your karmic accounts. Whatever is coming out of body consciousness. So that awareness, where most of the time souls are not even aware, or they're not ready to believe. They say, no, whatever I need to do, it's justified. My reaction or my retaliation is justified. So that first point which you shared, That awareness being there is 50% of the job done. Second is, even if if it is coming out from your end in the form of a body consciousness, then it's you asking yourself that, are you ready to face the consequences of what you're putting out? If you're ready for it, then you can go ahead and do what you want to do. But if you say that, no, I will want to react or retaliate, but I don't want to bear the consequences, I don't want it to add in my karmic account, then that doesn't happen. Okay, so you have to be very clear that at certain point of time in the heat of the moment said, me, I want to give it back. I will see then what, even if it causes loss to me, it is fine. It is very easy to say that in the heat of the moment, but actually when it comes and hits you, it's painful. And that is the time you realize that you are the one who's attracted it. So how we would invest into something that would have us be at comfort in the long run, the same way you're investing your karmas right now, taking control and charge of your own self and coming from a spiritual space of understanding where it's there in your DNA. You're understanding that this is drama. That is the reason it is happening. How I need to respond? Now I need to work on that. So two things. One, you will get an access how to deal with it as it is happening. And the second is how you will elevate your space, the quality, your aura, if I may say, such that you don't attract such kind of incidents again. Okay, so these, I feel, according to me, are the two axes.
Yeah, thank you for the answer. Really
All
wonderful
right,
answer you replied.
super. Anyone else? Or should we move towards the meditation? Rakiben?
Let's move on to meditation.
All right, so can we have some nice soft music?
Sure.
So as the music will take its own time to play, let us start playing the music in our minds. Yes. Let us gift ourselves the tranquility, the deservability of divinity. Let us stand in the pride of being a Supreme Father's children. Let us enrich ourselves through divine thoughts, divine words, and divine actions, relating to each soul as a soul and not as the body. We are the carefree children of a caring father. All that he wants is everything about us is graceful. Everything is out to contribute, to heal. There's no more than gratitude that we can express for being blessed with this life as a Brahman. From this moment, I pledge and I promise myself that I'll be aware and agile at everything that is coming out of me, ensuring that whatever I do, I'm representing my Supreme Father. Free from any malice, any emotional hurts or pains, any kind of ego. All that I have is the understanding that I'm a traveler, I'm a tourist, and I'm a free bird, not here to carry pain and hurt or make people wrong. I'm here to fly and fly high. I'm here to uplift others who may need me. I'm here to serve this planet, to serve every living kind. I live in the experience that I'm so happy with the life that I've got. It is the perfect life and couldn't be better. Thank you, Divine Father, for this wonderful gift of embracing me and protecting me in your canopy. Thank you for this wonderful family. And thank you for ongoingly giving these wonderful learnings. Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone. It was wonderful. Have a great day ahead and contribute to other souls. Om
Thank you,
Shanti.
brother. Thank you, brother. Love